right now. Hey, everybody, it's the Total Bases Podcast. I am your host, Felipe Milicio, and with me, as always, is Austin Spiro. Austin, how you doing this evening?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Late night for the Total Bases Podcast here. Usually we're doing this in the morning. This time it's in the evening. They're going to get tired of hearing our voices. It's been like the fourth time in the last few days.
Well, tough titty. If it's so easy to do it, they can all do their own fucking podcast, right?
That's true.
We do have a special guest. We are having a little bit of a crossover as we tend to do around the baseball life and all our sports groups on Facebook. We are joined by none other than Henry Maldonado of the Dong City Podcast. Hey, Henry, how you doing tonight?
City, bitches. You said tough titty and you got my attention, brother.
I know how to get to you, man. I know how to get to you. So it's always a pleasure.
Titties and dongs.
It's a match made in heaven.
Absolutely.
No, man, thank you for joining us. I know this is a very busy time of year for you. I mean, it's not the same. Man. Austin and I have been working the midnight oil, getting these spreadsheets and these fantasy baseball activities up and running. It's not the same as what you're doing, but I feel you. I feel you.
Dong City's taking a hit, man. Between me doing taxes and tax season crunch and Vince probably getting 30 minutes of sleep on per night average, you guys are picking up the load. We appreciate it.
Well, hey, like I said, that's why I appreciate you coming on. And you know what? It'll get better. I mean, Sean and I went through something similar the last couple of years, but around this time of year, January, February, March, this are super busy time of the year. So that's how we make up for it. But let's get going, man. We have a lot to cover today. Can
we just skip the bad teams? I mean,
oh no, man! All teams matter where I come from. Come on, man.
He's a Cubs fan. All teams have to matter.
ATM means something totally different over here.
Ass to mouth.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, I know the lingo. I'm hip. I have bad hips, and I'm also hip. If you guys can see the spreadsheet, there it is. There's Felipe. There's Austin. Sean, who couldn't make it on the show tonight. He's on the red. I think he's on a red eye back home to Alabama. So good luck to him. Vince, you mentioned Henry. He's on baby poopy duty, and
he's on diaper duty.
Diaper baby poopy duty. So, well, hey, let me tell you something. It never stops. It doesn't stop until they're potty trained, and even then,
it does not.
And then Henry over here, and these are our Baseball Life MLB predictions spreadsheet, and we're starting out with the American League East. And as you guys can see, everybody picked the Blue Jays to win the division except for Vince. I mean, I wish Vince were here to kind of explain himself, but I don't know, maybe Henry, maybe you could speak for him. Any idea why Vince likes the Rays over the Jays in this upcoming season?
I think he likes their pitching. I think he really likes their pitching. He is on board with the whole Wander Franco is the next baseball god thing, I believe.
Okay.
I know I'm not on that train by myself. Yeah, this kid is special. I think it comes down to pitching, and the Rays have been doing it the last, let's call it 5 years. They should have a title by now, but the Rays have been doing it consistently in the minor leagues and the scouting and the drafting and the development and every area, they touch, they do well,
That they do. I mean, Oakland gets the whole Moneyball moniker. I don't know if it's still a moniker for them at this point, but the Rays do it. They do Moneyball better than any team.
Yep. And I think that's the best team in baseball when it comes to player development and scouting, and they're always a few steps ahead. I think if they spent some more money, it'll probably put them over the top.
Yeah, they could use the excuse that, well, we need a new stadium, but come on. I mean, you guys are so close. Just trade
a few big ticket items, and I really think it would put them over the hump.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw a documentary, a short video on YouTube, not a real documentary, but a short video, and playoff success matters. Now, don't laugh at me, but apparently the 2002 Twins making it to the not the World Series, sorry, the ALCS, and only to lose to Austin's Angels there. But apparently that saved their season from total relegation. That saved their franchise from total relegation because they were voted, along with the Expos, to be relegated from Major League Baseball. As the Seattle Mariners, 1995, they beat your Yankees, and that got them a new stadium.
One of the most infamous, game-winning walk-offs hits ever. That Ken Griffey Jr. slide will always live in infamy.
Well, for you guys, I mean, it was one of the.
I think anywhere it's one of the best
coolest moments.
Even if it's against the Yankees, even I'm not one of those Yankee fans that say we have to win. I still contest that 2001 World Series was the greatest World Series ever, and we were on the losing end of that.
Yeah, well, especially after the Yankees dominated for what, 3, 4, 5 years. I lost count after 90, somewhere along the line, I lost count. But yeah, that 2001 was a very competitive World Series, that's for sure. And I'll have you know, Mr. Maldonado, I was actually rooting for the Yankees in 95 because I didn't know any better.
No, because you were smart. You were probably smart back then.
And I didn't have the White Sox to root for at that time either. So I didn't start rooting for the AL teams until 97. So yeah, but the Yankees, that could have been a Yankees fan, but I decided not to. That's my bad. Well, anyway, that's the Rays. That's the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays a little bit more here. Austin, why do you like the Blue Jays over the Rays?
I like the Blue Jays a little bit more because they have a really great offense. They have MVP candidate in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They still have some pretty good starting pitching and Jose Abreu, and now they picked up Robbie Ray. Do I think Robbie Ray is going to have the season? Or he doesn't have? No, he's on the Mariners. I'm sorry. Anyway, they have good starting pitching. Their bullpen is pretty good. But I think they're a pretty good all-around team. I think the Rays are going to be a thorn in the side. I think it's going to be a great competition between the Blue Jays and the Rays. But I think just that thump that the Blue Jays have, they have a little bit more thump than the Rays do. And I think that extra thump is what's going to get them over the hill there in the AL East.
Well, speaking of thump, the Yankees, according to Fangraphs, they have the best. Well, Henry, you'll love this. They have the best lineup, the best starting rotation in terms of their projected F-force, and the best relief pitching of any team. If you ever take a look at how they're projecting it this year, that's how they have it. But and you're the only one in this grouping who picked the Yankees to finish in second. Everybody else picked them to finish in third, including Vince. Why do you like the Yankees over the Rays? I mean, I just heard you speak very glowingly about the Rays, but you're still going to go with the Yankees to finish second in the division.
I think the Yankees are probably underrated this year. Most years they probably go in overrated or, accurately rated. I think they're actually underrated this year because people were harping on the fact that they didn't make the big moves, the Carlos Correa, the Robbie Ray. They didn't jump and get that big ticket free agent. They upgraded the left side of the infield. They upgraded catcher. I really love the Yankee starting pitching depth. I think them and the White Sox have the best bullpen in baseball. So I'm really big on the Yankees. You get a healthy year from, Stanton and Judge like we did last year. We see what happens if those guys are healthy together. You add a full year of Gallo in that ballpark and you're going to see fucking, 80 home runs, 90 home runs between the three of them, probably more. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I think the Yankees can bash with anybody, and I like the balance that Donaldson and Isaiah kind of Falefa bring to the table. So I'm really, really big on the Yankees this year. Plus, you have a healthy DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, it is definitely a more balanced lineup. It's a little bit deeper. It's the pitching for me. I don't trust them. I still got them going to the playoffs just because they're the Yankees, and I'll be honest. I also like some of the players that might potentially be called up later on this year, especially from the pitching side. And I think the Yankees are really going to have to rely on some of their unproven young talent. And I mean, you talk about the Rays. I think the Yankees do a magnificent job of developing, evaluating, and drafting and signing young talent. Are able to have a pretty good farm system. What's up?
With all of that, with the exception of pitchers, the Yankees cannot develop pitching.
They're not the only team, by the way. Yeah, everybody's struggling with that, unless you're the Rays.
Relief pitches, we churn them out like forget it. Relief pitchers, position players, good. When it comes to starting pitchers, that's where we just have to pay.
Yeah, and
I like our rotation. There's a lot of ifs in there. If Severino's healthy, if Jordan Montgomery bounces back from Tommy John, if Jameson Taillon can settle in, is Nestor Cortez really what we saw last year? There's a lot of ifs there.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the Yankees compared to the Blue Jays and the Rays. And this for me, Henry, I always pick the Yankees to win the World Series. And it's usually based, and that's why they never win because I'm the one picking them. But it's usually based on who they have in the bullpen. And I have to admit, this has to be the weakest bullpen from the Yankees I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, which is really disappointing for me. And
really love the Yankees bullpen.
I'm surprised that you do. I mean, there's a lot more question marks compared to the other teams in this division. But let's move on to the other division. The Reds. Let's go ahead.
Here's what I think is the downfall for the Yankees, though, and I think Henry will agree with me, is Aaron Boone. A lot of people think we've seen it in the Baseball Life group. There are a lot of people that are like, oh, the managers don't have a role anymore. They are if they're bad. Absolutely. A good manager, they could take a back seat if they're a good manager because they know how to manage a game. They know how to manage a lineup. They know who to put in what role. Aaron Boone don't know how to do that. So, he will be the downfall for the Yankees because do they have a strong bullpen? Yeah. Does he know how to handle it? No, he doesn't. So he's going to put them in weird positions, use the wrong pitchers, overuse pitchers, and then he'll put them in situations where they're going to get rocked. So, I think, yes, they have a strong roster. They have a strong lineup, but I think Aaron Boone and his decision-making is going to be the downfall of the Yankees.
So go ahead.
People forget how awesome Jonathan Loaizaga really is.
Yeah, he's really good.
I think that kid is a closer in the setup role, and he's going to be the future closer of the Yankees. That kid is that good.
Yeah, I believe so. I like Jonathan Loaizaga.
I like a lot of their pitches. Clay Holmes is another guy. But
I love Clay Holmes, but Miguel Castro trade was so under the radar. I like that trade for both teams. I think, I love him coming over to the Yankees. We sent over a lefty over there.
I could see his name. I know who I can
Rodriguez,
see him.
Jason?
No.
Anyway,
I don't know why the name Joel's in my head, but it's
but you're right. It did provide much needed depth for the Yankees, and maybe that might have swayed me differently. But I mean, the Blue Jays and the Blue Jays and Rays. The Rays are on a different level with their bullpen, so that's why I like their bullpen a little bit better. Blue Jays bullpen is actually the best I've seen in a long time from them as well. So it's just a combination of things for me. If you move on to the rest of the division, you see that most of us have 3 playoff teams. And then Vince has the Red Sox as the 4th representative, which I could totally see. I can even see the Red Sox winning this division, but in this scenario that I played out in my mind, I decided to put them in 4th and missing the playoffs. But everybody on the panel has the Red Sox finishing in 4th. Also, let's start with you. Why did you pick the Red Sox to finish in 4th in this division and not higher than that?
I think in this term, they are a strong team, but in a strong team in a strong division as the AL East is, I think they're the odd man out.
Yeah.
So they've lost a little bit of bats. They gained a bat in Trevor Story, and he's supposed to be playing second base, but who knows how healthy he is with that elbow issue. Again, I think I've said this before. I think the move to second base is going to be really good for his elbow.
Okay.
And we'll see how he does for outside of Coors and in an AL lineup. But the universal DH, you probably won't have as big of an issue. But but now their starting right fielder is Jackie Bradley Jr. He's good. He's great for defense, but not great for offense. But then you look at their pitching. You have Nathan Eovaldi, who is he going to be as good as he was last year? I don't know. He might be consistently good, but after that, after Nathan Eovaldi, all of their starting pitchers, their starting pitching rotation, all of them are projected to have a ERA at 4.5 or over. Nick Pivetta, Tanner Houck, Michael Wacha, and Rich Hill are all supposed to have an ERA over 5. So pitching is going to be their downfall. They have their closer situation is all over the place. Is it going to be Mac Barnes? Is it going to be Jake Diekman? Is it going to be Garrett Whitlock? Nobody knows. Their bullpen is a mess. I think their pitching is what's going to be a downfall. Are we going to get the same Chris Sale? What is James Paxton going to look like? There's so many question marks in that pitching staff that I think the offense is not going to be able to offset that.
Yeah.
And they're the odd man out in the AL East.
And as you're seeing from the comments, Henry, it is Joely Rodriguez.
Joely, I was close.
Pretty damn close, yeah. So yeah, that's the Red Sox. I mean, I actually like their bullpen. Maybe, I don't know. It's a very tight. When all things go according to plan and everything goes as expected, it's as close as a division as you can get. And then you get the Orioles, who just when you didn't think the Orioles could get any weaker, they traded probably two other better bullpen arms in Tanner Scott and Cole Sulzer to the Marlins, and they're actually getting worse. So Henry, you watch the Orioles all the time. Anything positive you get to say about them a little bit before we move on to the Central?
They changed the dimensions in the ballpark. I mean,
yeah, so I heard, yeah.
But I just real quick on the Red Sox, I don't see what everyone is seeing. I don't see what you guys are seeing. I look at that rotation and I just fucking laugh. That rotation is a joke. Chris Sale, what was he placed on the 60-day DL?
He's not been placed on the 60 IL yet. Roster Resources, he's just injured.
Oh no, he's on the DL. He's on the DL.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah. And then you have 2 outfielders that have no business starting. Those are 2 guys that should be platoon players, and Kike Hernandez and Jackie Bradley Jr. None of those guys should be starting outfielders on any team. So I look at that team and I don't think you have Devers, you have Bogarts. Those are 2 absolute studs. I'm not a Trevor Story fan at all. I don't like that team at all. Bobby Dahlback, what is he? Is he the power guy we expect him to be? I don't know. I don't think that team is going to be anything close to doing what they did last year.
I think the offense will be okay. But you're right. I don't trust Jackie Bradley Jr. or a lot of their depth. But the rotation is interesting because of Nate Eovaldi. I'm a Nate Eovaldi believer. I think he's as good as anybody. At the very least, when he's healthy, right? Because he's also a problem.
Yeah, they got a bunch of number threes in their rotation.
Yeah, but when he's healthy, Eovaldi can pitch a lot of innings and throw a lot of strikeouts when healthy.
He's healthy, right?
When he's healthy, that's the big caveat. But you know what? You can say that about a lot of starting pitchers, especially in the American League, and especially about the American League East. Nick Pivetta might.
When was the last time he threw? Forget 200 innings, like 185 or 190 innings.
Man, no one's getting there nowadays. No one. But so relatively speaking, he can. I mean, he was doing better than Shohei Ohtani when you and I and Vince were on the show together, and we looked at the people who qualified for AL Cy Young during the middle of the season. And I remember Eovaldi's name was at the very top of the list in the American League, and who was missing from it? Shohei Ohtani. So,
so that treatment Ohtani.
I like Tanner Hoke. Rich Hill, again, that's another guy who stays healthy, but when he's healthy, he gives other hitters fits. And I'm not saying this as a to say, oh, well, the Red Sox, they're gonna really surprise a lot of people. It's the same thing I said about the Blue Jays last year. If the Red Sox can find a way to be middle of the pack with their starting rotation, just like the Blue Jays did last year, that offense might just be good enough to annoy some people in this division for sure.
I don't see it.
But it's a small percentage that they win the division outright. But like I said, I have them in fourth. Everybody in this panel has them in fourth. They're definitely finishing way ahead of the Orioles. So also, something nice about the Orioles, look out for Grayson Rodriguez. They have got to bring him up.
Yes.
They have to bring him up. So check him out when he gets called up.
Are they bringing up
Adley Rutschman too?
Adley Rutschman, yeah.
No, well, you know me. I don't trust catching prospects, but still.
And right now their starting catcher is Robinson Chirinos.
Yeah.
Where is Adley Rutschman? Come on, bring him up already.
Robinson Chirinos is a really good catcher to help mentor Rutschman, though.
Sure. Yeah, he definitely is that. But he can't hit
for
like
somebody who has him in the minor league stash in the fantasy league. Let's go.
I want him now, he says. You got to get him up here. All right. Well, there's really nothing else to add about the Orioles. Cedric Mullins, I guess that's a guy. But they're
Cedric Mullins.
They got some interesting names coming up to their pipeline. But this is a team that's 2 or 3 years from what did Fran Fraschilla used to say? This guy's 2 or 3 years away from being 2 or 3 years away. So that's the Orioles. All right, let's move on to the American League Central, where everybody has the White Sox except for Sean. Sean has the Twins winning that division, which I can see it. I'm sorry, what?
It's the Alabama air.
That's the Alabama air. I like the Twins. I really do. But as you can see, I didn't pick them to win the division or make the playoffs. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Twins made some noise and snuck into the playoffs this year and even win the division. But again, everything has to fall into place. Everything has to go correctly for them. The White Sox just have too much firepower. The one concern, there's a lot of concern with the White Sox as well. They have some holes in their depth. They have some rotation questions, but their bullpen is as good as any in the American League, let alone the American League Central. Let's see. Let's go with Austin. Why do you like the White Sox so much?
I like the White Sox because, well, all the rest of them ain't that good. You got the Tigers who they're coming up. They made some good pieces. They made some good moves. I think they're up and coming, but they are definitely not there yet. The Guardians are not. Again, they're not there. The Twins, they picked up Correa. They picked up, they made some trades. They have Byron Buxton coming back. Their pitching staff is, I don't know what to say about their pitching staff because their SP4 and SP5 are Dylan Bundy and Chris Archer. I don't know. I don't really believe in that pitching staff. I'm really only looking forward to Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober. Sonny Gray, you know what you're going to get out of them, but I'm not really stoked about that pitching staff, and I'm not really sure what you're going to get out of the Twins' offense either. So, I'm not real confident on the Twins' ability. And then the Royals, you got Salvador Perez. Other than that, there really isn't much to be looking forward to when it comes to the Orioles, except maybe
Royals.
or the Royals. I'm sorry. Maybe a send off for Zach Greinke. Start end where it started. But I think the White Sox are by far the best team in the AL Central. But the problem with them is going to be their depth once they get into the playoffs. After their starting lineup, they really haven't added much to their depth. So, their bullpen is nice, but you got to be good against winning teams. And they didn't really do anything to add to their offense in order to be good against winning teams.
Hey, man, AJ Pollock's on the team now. Come on.
Nah, whatever.
Difference maker. Come on.
Are you guys forgetting Bobby Witt? I mean, this is supposed to be the next guy. Like,
oh yeah, I didn't forget.
I have, I like Bobby Witt, but I mean, Salvador Perez and Bobby Witt that's not gonna move the needle much when it comes to
Bobby Witt will put asses in seats and sell some jerseys, though.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, on the financial side, Bobby Witt will do some good, but the Royals ain't going to be competitive this year.
The only thing that I could say besides Bobby Witt for the Orioles, I did it too for the Royals, not the Orioles, the Royals. They have a pretty good bullpen. They have some names on that bullpen that we need to check out and keep an eye on. You guys can go ahead and go to roster resource and check out those names. Otherwise we'll be here all night naming names. The other thing that's interesting about the Royals is they have a lot of first round picks in their rotation that they've been kind of waiting on. And a lot of this is going to be make it or break it seasons for a lot of these young guys, because waiting on the pipeline are guys like Daniel Lynch, Jackson Cower, those kind of guys that Asa Lacy, who made the Fangraphs top 100 and their top 100 list, although he's ranked at number 102. That's why I'm kind of hesitating to mention his name. But Asa Lacy, former first round pick, top 4 pick overall in the 2020 draft. That's pretty much the only good thing you could say about the Royals.
You know what's interesting about the Royals?
Yeah.
You look at the names on that team, and the first thing that stands out to me is that's a defensive team. There's a shitload of really good defenders on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that rotation, and there's a lot of contact pitchers on that team. So, I would love to see what their run prevention is going to be, but there's no offense there. There's no offense there.
No, you're definitely.
Bobby Witt's going to be exciting. I really think that kid's going to be everything we're expecting, and then some.
Mm-hmm.
Perez is not going to do what he did last year. Let's just put that out there right now. He's not doing that.
I agree.
You never know. Maybe he gets to DH and they move players around, and maybe that preserves him a little bit. But yeah, to expect him to do that same thing exactly, that's a lot to ask for, even for Salvador Perez. But anyway, Henry, you got the Twins finishing in second, and the Tigers in third. I could definitely see those two teams kind of flip-flopping, but why did you go with the way you went?
I actually had a hard time not putting the Tigers second. I really think they made a lot of nice additions there. It would not surprise me if they came in second, but that division stinks. And I think the White Sox on paper just have the best team by a mile. I think they're going to run away with that division.
They should. They should.
I think they'll run into problems in the playoffs. I agree with Austin with their depth, but in terms of the regular season, I think they're going to have their way with that. Their division record is just going to be insane.
Yeah, and let's be real though. I mean, that division did improve. It's not going to be as easy as last year. Last year they were able to survive with a bunch of injured guys and a bunch of their B, C, D, E, and F players starting regularly. So that just shows you how awful the division was, and how good the pitching was for the White Sox as well. But this year, it wouldn't
shock me. Like you said, it wouldn't shock me if the Twins and the Tigers flipped. I think that the Tigers are going to make some noise.
Yeah, and my point was that this division is a lot tougher than it was last year. It's not saying much, but it's still a little bit tougher. It's a lot of improvements, including for the Tigers. They're finally getting their young players getting called up. Spencer Torkelson. I mean, we talk about Bobby Witt. Spencer Torkelson will be on the opening day roster. And then we're still waiting on Riley Green. They just picked up Austin Meadows. They've signed Javier Baez. I know Austin doesn't like Javier Baez, but still, that's still more exciting than anything they had last year. And the rotation
got the ceremonial passing of the glove from Miggy.
That's right.
So that's big. That's huge.
Yeah. I mean, Miggy will do what most players his age do, just DH for the rest of his life. And the rotation's much improved. The thing that sucks about them is their bullpen just is atrocious. That's a work in progress. And then the Cleveland, I mean, that's a team that's just purposely trying to lose on purpose at this point, which is really pathetic. And the only reason that they're not in last place. Oh wait, Sean picked the Cleveland Guardians finished in last place, and so did Henry.
So did I.
Yeah, let's fix that. Why don't we? Because we're not using that name anymore.
I went old school just for the hell of it.
No, man, we don't talk about the Indians like that. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about the Indians.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Indians. Because now we're thinking that you're talking about the people from Asia. But anyway, why did you pick the Guardians to finish in dead last over the Royals?
Because they fucking suck. I don't like anything about that team. That's a team just replace that logo with a giant question mark. I mean,
I do not like this team, man. Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes.
You know I'm the biggest J-Ram fan. I think he's the most underrated, underappreciated player in the game.
Agreed.
What about Franmil Reyes? He's on that team too. Don't forget about him. What?
Come on. Stop.
What you talking about?
Look, that team is garbage. That ownership is garbage. Their management is garbage. The fucking logo and the name is garbage. Just that team is ass.
One player to keep an eye on is Steve Kwan. He might be a thing. He may not be a thing. Steady player, but
the best thing that they're going to do is if they were smart, trade J-Ram early and maximize on that value while you can, because you'll trade him to a team that they'll get 2 postseason runs out of them.
Well, the Guardians have the rotation that the Royals are hoping they can get one day with their young players. Mm-hmm. It's already here for the Guardians. And I think that's why I picked them in 4th place and not in dead last. But that's still a very underwhelming rotation outside of Shane Bieber. And even Shane Bieber was kind of exposed last year. And Sean loves Shane Bieber, and the fact that he picked him in last. If I'm not
mistaken, didn't most of us say that we expected him to be exposed? I mean, outside of Sean,
people forget that Shane Bieber was supposed to maximize as a mid-rotation starter, and for him to supersede all expectations to become the ace of that staff by default. And did he win the Cy Young? I don't remember anymore. My memory's hazy.
I think he did.
He might have. That's more than anybody expected.
No, it was the last 2 were Verlander and Ray, right?
Like I said, my memory's hazy. But the fact that he's a contender, it just speaks volumes as to how hard he worked and how well he was coached and all that. I mean, the Guardians are known for being one of those little pitching factories.
Yeah.
But it's very underwhelming with Zach Plesac, Cal Quantrill, Aaron Savali, Tristan McKenzie. We don't know what he is, and he needs to eat more burgers.
2020 Cy Young.
Oh, see, I'm not going crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So he definitely superseded all expectations. Look out for Emmanuel Clase. That guy's a stud, but on a team like this, what's that?
I like Clase a lot, actually.
Oh yeah, but yeah, compared to everybody else, this is probably one of their weaker bullpens that I've seen from them in a long time. So that's why I'm not as excited about them.
Just do the baseball world a favor and put J-Ram in a winning position that is not the Blue Jays, please.
We'll see if that happens. I mean, he makes a reasonable amount of money that's not breaking the Guardians for some reason. Peanuts.
Forget it's less than 10. It's got to be less than 10 mil or something stupid.
Yeah, it's a very team friendly deal to say the least. Yeah. So,
and they got whoever trades for him has that for this year and next year.
So
that's why I think their return is going to be huge.
Right. So that's the Central. The only person who has 2 playoff teams from the Central Division is Sean with the White Sox and the Twins. The Twins winning the division outright. We move on to the American League West. Everybody picked the Astros except for Henry. Henry, explain yourself here.
I think the Mariners are being slept on. I love everything about I love this Mariners team. They have a lot of exciting players. I think they're going to bring up Julio Rodriguez if they did not already name him on the team.
He got called up today. I believe
he get called up. Look, I think this Mariners team is going to win that division and shock everybody.
Oh, I just realized that Vince picked the Guardians to finish in second. That's weird. Did not expect that from him. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted. So, hey.
What do you mean in second?
Second place in that division. The Guardians. I just realized that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. White Sox, Guardians, Twins, Tigers, Royals.
I blame the baby on that one.
I think that's what Larry was alluding to. So that's why I did a double tick. All right. Okay. Astros. I mean, it was pretty close between the Mariners and the Red Sox. And I had to pick the Mariners to get into this playoff by any means necessary. So I got them finishing in second and getting the 5th seed. But the Astros are still the class of that division, followed by the Angels for me. The Rangers, who are not ready for I don't know where this hype is coming from the Rangers, but definitely the A's are the worst team in this division and probably in all of baseball. All of baseball. All right, so it's official. All of baseball. We all have the A's finishing last. Let's see. Sean has the Angels finishing in second. Vince has the Mariners finishing in second on his sheet. but not making the playoffs. Austin, why do you believe in the Mariners to make the playoffs?
Simple. The Mariners got better. The Red Sox did not. The Mariners got a lot better offense. They got better offensively. They have good hitters in Jesse Winker, and getting him but through trade. Eugenio Suarez is he's not the third baseman that he used to be, but he can't get any worse than he did last year. And then Mitch Haniger is still, he's 31 years old. He's still a viable outfield option. You got Adam Frazier, going to be a good contact guy
Big
up
trade.
there at the top. That was a good trade. Then you have exciting players like Julio Rodriguez coming up. You have Jared Kelenic, who I think is going to have a better season than he did last year.
I hope so.
JP Crawford, we kind of, laugh at JP Crawford, but JP Crawford actually had a pretty decent little season last year. Is he going to blow your socks off? No. But he's going to get you. He's going to be a pretty good producer down there at the number 9 spot. And then they went out and grabbed Robbie Ray. Yep. I like Robbie Ray. I like Logan Gilbert. I like Chris Flexen. Matt Brash may be pretty good down there and at the 5th spot. And then their bullpen is
stacked.
Is pretty good.
No, it's stacked. That's a
that
freaking
bullpen
good
is
bullpen.
low. The bullpen is low.
Love that bullpen.
Yeah, that Diego Castillo. I always have loved Diego Castillo. You got Drew Steckenrider and Paul Sewald there at the back end. And then you have Sergio Romo there. Sergio Romo's been dependable. He is 39 years old, but that slider. Oh. And then you got
Ken Giles
on the injured list for now, but that's another arm.
Kyle Lewis is still on. Kyle Lewis is there. They got guys. I'm telling you.
No, they're deep, man.
Guys.
And Kyle Lewis is also hurt with knee injury from last year as well. But then we move on to a team like the Angels. Most of us picked the Angels to finish in 3rd, except for Sean, who picked them in 2nd. Angels are an interesting team. I
picked them to finish 4th.
Oh yeah, I see that you and Sean picked the Rangers to finish 3rd, but you guys are flipped on the Angels. He picked 2nd, you picked 4th. Angels have an interesting team. And again, it just goes back. If everybody can stay healthy, because that is a team that desperately needs everybody to stay healthy because they have no depth. They're the opposite of the Mariners. The one thing I do like about the Angels that I could take to the bank with me a little bit, I do like their bullpen this year.
Yeah.
It's still not enough to get them over the top. And the rotation, they go with a 6-man rotation when everybody seems to be trying to go back to a 5-man rotation. But obviously, Henry just mentioned it. The reason why they need to go to a 6-man rotation. And the only thing I'm going to say about the Angels is look out for a guy named Patrick Sandoval. He might be the real deal that could help them out, but it's not enough. They need help everywhere. So you mentioned the Rangers. Henry, why do you like the Rangers more than others in this panel?
I'm not a fan of the Angels. I think
Rangers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I like the moves I like the moves that they made, and I just think that they're a better team than the Angels, and I really do think that the A's will be worse than the Orioles and the Pirates. So, but I just think by default they're just the better of the 3 teams.
Man, I just don't know, man. I hate their pitching rotation. I hate their bullpen. The Rangers
do too, but look, I look at the Angels rotation, and their ace is a part-time pitcher. And their number 2 is a guy coming off of surgery who never really put together a full season. Exciting guy, fun on Twitter, but what has Noah Syndergaard really done?
I see your Noah Syndergaard and Shohei concerns, and I raise you Martin Perez as your number 2 starting pitcher for the Rangers.
You mentioned Patrick Sandoval. I like him. I think he's eventually going to be the ace of that staff by default because, again, can Ohtani duplicate what he did? Absolutely not. I think Ohtani is going to be an even better hitter. But I think pitching-wise, he's going to take a step back. What he did last year is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We're probably never going to see it again.
Well,
Major League Baseball. You started to see him slow down as the year went on. He started to slow down. He started to get hit harder and harder.
Well,
he's not going to continue that.
Major League Baseball wants to encourage more 2-way players, so I'm pretty sure they'll do whatever it takes to get them up. And I'm just saying that's what they want. That's why they made the Ohtani rule, right? Let's see here. Well, I don't know, man. I just think the Angels pitching staff's a lot better than the Rangers. Rangers are ass.
You really like that rotation better than the Rangers?
Oh, the Rangers have Martin Perez as their number 2, Dane Dunning, who we don't know what he is, and some guy named Taylor Hearn, and Spencer Howard, who is not living up to expectations at all. That's at least you could say that the Angels have some veterans that can that they know the role.
This conversation toward the end of the season to see where the pitching numbers end and laugh at both of them.
We do this every Sunday morning, brother.
Yeah.
We do that. I don't run away from my predictions. I
don't mean run away. I'm just laugh at how bad they're both going to be.
Oh,
and just see who's worse.
I will say, as an Angels fan, I bash their pitching staff a lot. Right? I bash their pitching staff a lot, and rightfully so. But I'm going to say that the Angels pitching staff, I think, is better than the Rangers pitching staff. More importantly, I think their bullpen is better. I think I think they still need a lot of work when it comes to the starting pitching. I don't like the fact that Noah Syndergaard is number 2 and Shohei is number 1. I don't like that. I've been saying for the last couple of years, why are we piecing together starters? But what I will say is they got a whole lot better when it comes to the bullpen. And I think the bullpen is a separator between the Rangers and the Angels, which is why I have the Angels third.
All right. And I just want to read really quick. I just want to read a comment from Fami who says that he is happy that Eugenio Suarez has gone for the National League Central because he used to be a Cubs killer when he was with the Reds. So we'll see if last year was a fluke and he goes back to being the power hitting.
Everybody's off of the Reds now.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get to it in just a bit. I just want to point out and see if I can find any player that it's worth monitoring with the Oakland Athletics. They have no hitters. Okay. Frankie Montas. That's a thing. Frankie Montas.
For now.
Frankie Montas might be a dark horse Cy Young award in the AL if I knew that he was. No. If you look at seriously, look at the American League pitchers. There's. I had the list up in here and I closed it, but if you look at the list, Frankie Montas is not that bad, but I don't know where he's going to be.
I agree.
I don't know where he's going to be.
Bad.
I don't know where he's going to be.
I don't think he's that guy. And he got popped for roids. Didn't he get popped for PEDs?
Even more reason to like him. He cheats. People love cheaters.
All right, so basically he's going to get traded to the Astros.
Match made in heaven. Yeah, that's what the Astros need. They need more depth at their pitching staff.
Absolutely.
AJ Puke. Maybe he's healthy, but now he's relegated to the bullpen. Yeah, well, right. That's why the name is Puke. So that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else. They don't even have a top 100 prospect. Anyway,
they need to trade Montes, trade Murphy. Who else is salvageable there?
Well, they did everybody else. Why not?
Ramon Laureano got suspended, right?
Yeah.
After being exposed. Yeah. Christian Pache.
Pache is still top 100.
Yeah, Pache. That's right. Come on, it's Pache. I mean, he has a lot of work to do. I am excited. There you go. Thank you for reminding me. I am excited to see Christian Pache just cover so much ground in that center field for Oakland. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to this year. So there you go. So something nice about the Oakland Athletics.
He can't hit for shit, or at least not yet.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have a problem with that trade at all. Not even from the Brave standpoint. Like, who cares? It's just Christian Pache. Oh well, I didn't mean to show you this, but I might as well just blow it up. So okay, American League pitchers, right? Garrett Cole I have him at number 1. Shane Bieber at number 2. We already talked about Shane Bieber. Robbie Ray. I mean, can Robbie Ray duplicate what he did last year? I don't know.
No.
Lucas Giolito, Jose Berrios, Kevin Gossman, Lance Lynn, Dylan Cease, Frankie Montas. Dark horse. Did you see what I'm saying? Dark horse.
Not happening.
Well, it's not going to happen. But if he stays with one team and maybe if he stays in the AL and makes a difference, maybe.
If he goes to a team that's he has to go to a team that's deep where he's the number 3, number 4 guy where he's going up against other 3 and 4s.
And then just eat.
And he'll pick up some wins, but I don't think he'll be, I don't see it.
All right, let's stay on the West Coast. Let's go to the National League really quick. Everybody got the Dodgers except for Henry, who not only picked the Padres ahead of the Dodgers in that division, he picked them to finish number 1 in that in all of the National League. Henry, I want to hear this. Come on, lay it on me. What do you got for me?
It's got to come together eventually for the Padres, man. It has to. You look at that. That's a video game team on paper, right? I mean, it has to come together. I like all their guys. I really, really do. I mean, I think this is the year, man. Luke Voigt's going to lead them to a division.
Oh, there it is. Yankee bias, East Coast bias. It's funny
I really do. That rotation, people say that rotation is deep. Musgrove, Darvish, Shamanai, Blake Snell, Clevenger. That's a deep fucking rotation, man.
Yeah, and again, it's
I
on
know
paper, it
Vince
looks
and I
really
had
good.
a nice debate the other day. He didn't like that. He thought they were just a bunch of 3 and 4s, which I disagree with. But that rotation, I really do like that bullpen. You have guys that can start in that bullpen. I think this is the year that the Padres take that leap and at least win that division.
Yeah, I mean, everything looks good on paper, but it's funny you mentioned that it has to eventually come together for the
Yeah.
Padres. Well, that's my logic that I use for them to finish second in the division ahead of the Giants this year and not in third like they did last year, not to win the division outright. But it's pretty funny that the same reasoning we use is to mark that the Padres are going to improve. But this is another level here. But I mean, you're right. On paper, they look good. I don't know why it's not coming together. They have a
And
new
again, remember,
manager that should
we're
help.
talking we're talking like season predictions right here. So we're talking about 162. We're getting into the playoffs later on, but right now this is just a division, and this is where I think this is how I think it's going to end.
Okay, Austin, let's see what you got for me. Well, I don't want to forget about Sean and Vince. I mean, even though they're not here, but Sean has the Padres finishing in second as a 6th seed. Vince is not a believer of the Padres for the reasons you just mentioned, Henry. So he has the Giants finishing in second with the 5th seed, and of course, everybody has the D-backs and Rockies. But you have the Rockies finishing ahead of the D-backs. What is going on today, Henry? You're feeling a little bold. I should just bold in all your picks.
Do not like that D-backs team, man. That D-backs team is trash.
But the Rockies are even worse. Worse.
Come on, they just got. Who did they just sign?
Not
they
enough.
They signed Nolan Arenado's replacement for the Nolan Arenado deal. It's not enough. But it's going to be better than they're going to be better than the D-backs.
Let's say that the hitting is better than the D-backs. The rotation is still ass. The rotation.
Both rotations are ass.
Yeah, but it's degrees of relativity, right? I mean, there's bad,
Look,
and then there's
you're talking about stepping in shit versus stepping in mud. You don't want either one. So
yeah. No, of course not. But still, I mean, I don't know. I just don't believe in anything the Rockies are doing outside of that offense. I mean, the offense is always going to pop for obvious reasons. So anyway,
they still got Herman Marquez. I mean,
he's going to be gone soon too. And
we said that we thought they would trade Trevor Story, and they were stupid enough not to, right? And get nothing back.
That is a very good point. Hey, listen, they signed Chris Bryant. Maybe they learned their lesson.
They signed a better player between him and Arenado. They gave Chris Bryant Arenado's money. I agree. For the record, all these fucking top 10, top 20 players, and they still have Arenado on the list is fucking disgusting.
I'm sorry, for who now?
Like MLB and all these rankings that come out with like the top 20 players and the top 10, and Arenado's like still listed. I'm like, come on, this is a joke now.
It's because of the highlights, man. People love highlights.
I've always given him the defender status, but
yeah,
my man's been exposed. Come on.
Yeah, he's this generation's Brooke Robinson, so that means he's going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Let's see, Austin. It looks like you and I are matching the Dodgers. We pretty much have the identical division winners here. So why did you pick the Giants to finish in third and not make the playoffs this upcoming season?
Because I think last year, while it was fun to watch, I think last year was just a lot of. It was this. I don't know how to say it other than it was a happy accident that they ended up being as good as they were. You had a lot of mediocre seasons from their offense, and they were riding on career years from Brandon Crawford, who is normally a defensive shortstop for whatever reason was just feeling it last year and was able to hit the ball really hard. And then a career final year from Buster Posey. But after that, you had a mediocre year from Yastrzemski. You had a mediocre year from Belt. You had a mediocre year from all of these other guys. Stephen Duggar, Lamont Wade Jr. All of these guys had mediocre years.
Well, counterpoint to that, Austin. Let me put this out. I know mediocre year from everybody, but the Giants, they use 2 players at every position. So I think you're a math teacher, right? So if you get one guy with a mediocre season and you add a mediocre season on top of that mediocre season, I think you get an average, adequate, maybe even a good season from that position, right? Is that how it works?
You average it out, you get an adequate season anyway.
But they're going to go with the same. They're definitely going to use the same strategy this year for sure. And they're going to hope that it works again.
Felipe's going with the slope method to analyze the Giants.
I'm sorry, the slope method?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Exactly.
Oh, no, but I mean, we marvel at the Rays for doing something similar. The Giants do that just like the Rays do.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
all right. Well, your
the Rays
lieutenants,
have
you
better
said
caliber players. The Rays have better caliber
that
players.
is also true. That
Which
is also
I
true.
mean, in a way, that kind of makes what the Giants are doing more impressive, right? Because they
Yeah.
don't have the same caliber of play. So I think it was the 2020 season when we expected the Giants to suck, and we were at the deadline, and everyone said they should trade. They didn't trade anybody.
No, they
became
acquired Evan
buyers.
Longoria, right?
Right. They became buyers. They made the playoffs. 2021, we said they can't repeat that. They fucking repeated it all season, and they were there.
Well,
At some point, you just got to give them credit. I mean,
I warned you guys about Kevin Gossman, so I tried warning you guys, but nobody listens to me. Now you all end up losing to me in the fantasy playoffs and shit, whatever. Anyway, hey, listen, Giants have a good rotation. I like the rotation.
I do like their rotation.
They have a good pitching staff. Their
Minus
bullpen's pretty
Alex
nice
Cobb.
too. Yeah, and even Alex Cobb might surprise some folks, but I'm not putting the house on Alex Cobb. But I would not be surprised either. Their bullpen's
I like the
okay.
addition of Matthew Boyd. I think that's under the radar there.
Yeah, and he's recovering from injury at this moment. Flexor tendon surgery as of September, so we'll see.
Always said he would be a really good reliever. I don't know how they're going to use him, but
I
always thought Matthew Boyd would be a lights out. Is he?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, like that's not a bad idea for sure to preserve that arm of his. All right, let's move on to. I guess the Dodgers are the class of this division, and probably the National League. Well, not according to Henry, but. No. But 90% of folks would say the Dodgers are the class of this National League. Let's move on to the National League Central. Everybody has the Brewers. Everybody has the Brewers and Cardinals at the top two, and everybody has the Brewers Cardinals finishing in the playoffs, except for Henry, who's the lone wolf once again. Henry, why don't you want to give into groupthink here? What's wrong with the Cardinals this year?
Nothing's wrong with the Cardinals. I just think the NL East is going to have 3 playoff teams.
I see. You still believe in those damn Phillies, huh? Good for you, man. Go, Little Rock, start go.
Phillies are going to make some noise, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get to it when we do the East Division. But Austin, why do you like the Brewers so much?
Pitching wins championships. I mean, that pitching is bananas. How good that pitching staff is, and I don't think we have I think everybody's ran out of superlatives for how good Milwaukee's pitching staff is. Their bullpen, especially the back end of the bullpen, Devin Williams is really good. Josh Hader's really good. You have Aaron Ashby waiting in the wings. He's going to be a middle relief pitcher, but he's looking to make some spot starts. And then on top of that, you have Colton Wong, who I think is going to be a pretty good top of the lineup, middle infielder there under the radar. You have your man Yelich. We'll see if he, gets anything there. Andrew McCutchen will be really interesting. And then Willie Adames came out and did really well when he got traded from Tampa to Milwaukee. And then Hunter Renfroe is pretty good little offensive
power
addition there. And then Omar Narvaez is a good contact hitting catcher. So, I think they have a good enough offense and superb pitching to be the class of this division.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's really hard to bet against the Brew Crew. And the Cardinals, I like their team as well, but they have relatively more question marks than the Brewers, and that's why I picked them in second. But I still couldn't help myself. I still picked them to make the playoffs as a 6th seed, and it looks like so did Vince. Other than that, everybody is pretty vanilla. Cubs, Reds, Pirates, except for yours truly. And I struggled with this one. I had to really think about this one because I did pick the Reds to finish in 3rd and the Cubs to finish in 4th. I just think the Reds are an interesting team, even with all these trades to get rid of some of their more important players. They still got Jonathan India. I still like their bullpen, and a player to check out and keep an eye on is Art Warren. It's just every time I read about him, I get excited. I honestly have not seen any Reds games, unfortunately, because it's the Reds. Who cares? But every time I read about Art Warren, I get really excited for him, and he's going to be sharing closing duties, it looks like, with the Cincinnati Reds. So, but I could definitely see him take over that, that role with the Reds as well.
You can't close games if you don't have a lead.
That is also true, but listen, man, they still got Tyler Mahle. They got Hunter Greens coming out, but that alone is worth the price of admission. That alone gets me excited for the Reds.
I think they totally trade Castillo and Tyler Mahle.
Yeah, I think they're going to get traded too, but in the time being, they're still going to be around.
They also don't they have Nick Lodolo too?
Nick Lodolo might come in, break into out of camp as a number 5 starter. So, but it's still a work in progress. They still have a decent bullpen. I still like their bullpen a little bit more than the Cubs. So don't sleep on the Reds bullpen. If anything, scout them for your playoff bound teams and see if you want your favorite team to kick the tires in some of these arms. But yeah, I just think that the Reds have some prospects that are going to come up that are going to keep them afloat. And the Cubs, they have a bunch of 30-year-olds that they need to get rid of anyway. Unfortunately for the Cubs, they don't have anyone that's worth mentioning, maybe except for Brennan Davis, maybe. But knowing them, they'll probably keep them in the minor leagues for a long time, like they did Chris Bryant, right? So who knows? But I don't know. There's nothing on the horizon that's exciting me for the Cubs farm system to come in and replace guys like Rafael Ortega and Wilson Contreras and maybe Ian Happ and Frank Schwindel for sure. I do like Seiza Suzuki. I can't wait to see him in the regular season. It's just not enough for me to pick them. And the Pirates are going to pirate, so the Pirates suck. All right, National League East. Henry, I want to hear from you first because you do pick the Phillies to make the playoffs over the Cardinals. What's so good about the Phillies? I don't understand. Why do you like them so much?
I like the Phillies rotation. I know a lot of people don't. I like the Phillies rotation. I think they have a very good bullpen, and I mean they have guys. They need a shortstop. I'm not a big fan of Didi Gregorius. I think Didi's on his way out of his career. It would be nice for them to get another shortstop there, but Rhys Hawkins, Gene Segura has been flying under the radar for 7 years now.
Yeah, every time I think he's done, he just keeps
staying
above water.
Castellanos, they have Bryce Harper, or fucking MVP Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
another guy who doesn't go talked about enough. We trashed him for years, and he's just Bryce Harper.
He just produces, right.
Bryce Harper's the biggest thing against him is that he's not Mike Trout. And I think that's been the biggest knock on his entire career, because they came up at the same time. They were always compared to one another. So Bryce Harper's a pretty fucking damn good baseball player. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame, so far. Yeah. So I really like their offense. I'm a fan of their rotation. I love Zach Wheeler. You got Zach Wheeler away from the Mets. I mean, you saw what happened. Corey Knebel, that's a nice acquisition there.
That is a very nice acquisition, yeah.
I really like this team, and I think people are sleeping on him. This team is going to make moves. Alec Bohm. They have guys there, man.
They definitely have guys. It's just I don't know, man. I see the Phillies and all I see is a top-heavy lineup. I don't like Gene Segura, but
you don't like Gene Segura?
Nah, I never liked him. But I will see to the fact that he does enough to be does plenty, I should say, does more than expected for a guy who's aging like he is. I mean, he's no longer stealing bases like he was in the past, but he's giving you some pop, especially in that stadium. Have at it. I don't like Didi Gregorius, that shortstop, at all.
Yeah,
they don't have a center fielder right now. Alec Bohm's a mess, so they're going to replace Alec Bohm with another rookie. Come on, man. When are you going to learn? I mean, they're making the right moves because you have to. You have to surround Bryce Harper with veteran players. Good, because you're wasting him away if you don't do it. So
I love Kyle Schwarber in his ballpark as a DH.
Oh, absolutely. And right now he's penciling as a leadoff hitter when, you may or may not like that, but he definitely.
It's Joe Girardi. He's going to play with lineups. That's what he does.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, that's fine. I mean, Kyle Schwarber did that with the Cubs too, hitting leadoff.
Yeah.
So
did he?
Okay. Every once in a while.
While they have a great offensive lineup. Kyle Schwarber in that ballpark is going to be awesome. Bryce Harper, we have already seen what he does in that ballpark. Nick Castellanos in that ballpark is going to be really good. We know that this
poor Larry.
we know that offense is going to be really good, but that outfield defense is going to be ass.
Yeah, that's
that outfield
the problem.
Defense is going to be awful.
I mean, the infield is going to be awful too. Defensively speaking.
I think their defense is what's going to be the downfall. We may like that pitching staff, but you can't strike everybody out. You know what I mean? And this.
I mean, if you're Max Scherzer, you can.
Yeah. That defense is ass. It is really bad. So I think the only upside you could see in defense is Real Muto. But, other than that, that defense is not good at all.
Joe Girardi went the Yankees route when he was with the. Yeah, he went the Yankees route. He basically they're gonna bludgeon you to death.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else in this panel has Braves, Mets, Phillies, Marlins, Nationals. Not much, not really different, except that Henry does have the Phillies going to the playoffs. It was pretty close between the Phillies, the Giants, and the Cardinals. I went with the Cardinals. But there's a lot.
Cardinals always find a way to make it in.
That's the thing with them. And they're not afraid to pull guys out. If they're struggling, they'll replace them with some scrub, some Rule 5 draftee, and lo and behold, he's the next Tyler O'Neill. So the Braves, I like what they did this offseason to shore up that lineup, shore up that bullpen. Holy crap. That bullpen is dangerous. I mean, talk about nuclear arms race. That the Braves, and between the Braves and the Mets, they are. It's fun watching those two teams go to work in the offseason and actually try, unlike some other teams that we have already mentioned. And then you get Ronald Acuna back into a World Series caliber team. So it's exciting to look at. Rotation is kind of iffy for me, but yeah, Charlie Morton proved me wrong last year. I thought he was done, but he just got up and
Charlie Morton's got to have a fork stuck in him eventually, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop. I mean, listen, man, this rotation doesn't excite me at all. Max Fried, Ian Anderson, I think they're so overhyped and so overrated. And every freaking year they prove me wrong, especially in the playoffs. Come playoff time, they become different beasts. So I'm not gonna doubt them anymore in that regard. Yes, I am. I'm gonna pick the Dodgers anyway, but still. And then you got the Mets. I think if DeGrom was healthier, if DeGrom could stay healthy, if DeGrom wasn't hurt again, I think we can make a case that the Mets might win this division outright, because they too have a decent pitching staff, but that's a death blow for them. It's even with all the additions they made, that you can't count on Max Scherzer to do everything for your team, or maybe you can. We saw it in 2019. Well, no, he had Steven Strasburg in 2019 as well, but it would have been nice if DeGrom and Max Scherzer could pitch for the entirety of the season, but we all have them going to the playoffs anyway. And the Phillies, for all the reasons we talked about, they're finishing in third.
Well, we also made these predictions before DeGrom was injured.
Yeah, that is also true. Marlins, that's a very fun team that people need to keep an eye on. That is going to be a fun team. They might. I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak into the playoffs. I really wouldn't be surprised, because you have to love this team. Just looking up and down the lineup, up and down the bullpen might be their downfall, but and the rotation is damn good in terms of young talent. But I just listen, man. If what do they call it for the NBA? That's a league pass team. If MLB didn't have so many fucking blackouts, that would be the what do they call it? What's the equivalent to the NBA league pass? It's the MLB what now? Extra innings pass or whatever. That's the team to check out.
Yeah, Vince and I talked about the Marlins not too long ago.
Yeah,
that's a team to watch. They have a bunch of potential number ones in that rotation, and there's guys coming still.
Yeah.
Love the addition of Jacob Stallings. Love. Yeah. I think he's the perfect catcher for those young guys.
Yeah.
I think they do make the playoffs next year for sure. The only thing that gives me a little hesitation is, when Derek Jeter left, he kind of took a swipe at them, saying that direction went a little left in his. So I don't know what that meant. I don't know, what they're going to do going forward, but we'll see. But they have a shitload of talent.
Yeah. And their bullpen doesn't look as bad as I thought it would, because they did acquire Cole Sulzer and Tanner Scott, like I mentioned at the top of the show, from the Orioles, and they're at the top of that bullpen already. So they added some much needed depth. So they look
they have Anthony Bender. Yeah, they do have Anthony.
They have Anthony Bender, the robot. Sure. Who else they have? Richard Bly. Oh no, not him. I don't want to talk about him. Tanner Scott, I mentioned. Lewis Head, who was the guy who was called up and down for the Tampa Bay Rays like 12 times or something last year, some ridiculous number. But and then you mentioned some prospects that might be coming from the pipeline. Let's see who those guys are. Edward Cabrera. Yeah, he might be, really good spot starter, if not a permanent starting pitcher in that rotation. And they got Max Meyer, who's supposed to be better than Edward Cabrera. So no, this is a team, man. This team is pretty darn loaded. And I think people need to keep an eye on what they're doing down there. And the Nationals are going to suck. Nationals are
they're going to so bad. Are they trading Soto this year?
Oh, man. Well, they didn't do it for Bryce Harper, so it wouldn't surprise me. Mike Rizzo doesn't like to quit, so
they should have learned from that.
Well, they won the championship right after that, so it didn't matter.
So they're paying for it now.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got the championship. That's all that matters.
They did.
It worked.
They gave Steven Strasburg that extra year, and it's gonna kick them in the ass.
Yeah, and they still got Patrick Corbin and Josiah Gray.
I meant Patrick Corbin. They gave him that 6 year when no other team would.
But still, I mean, Strasburg has got that long extension, and he can't stay healthy to save his life. And but they do, Kyber Ruiz might be a thing. Josh Bell might surprise some people and become the consistent power hitter we know he can be. I'm
tired of waiting on Josh Bell to be that guy.
This might be the year, man. 29 years old. This might be the year.
O'Neal Cruz is going to.
So he better be the guy.
O'Neal Cruz is going to be what Josh Bell should have been.
Oh. Well, Well, we didn't even mention O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates. We didn't mention anything. Oh, David Bednar.
He's in the minors. They just
Yeah, but he'll get called up soon. He'll get called
Who's
up.
in the
Watch.
minors?
O'Neal Cruz.
Of course he is. They're gonna wait. They're gonna milk that shit. They need an extra year out of that eligibility.
Well, it's Kevin Newman, and Kevin Newman's just too good, man. Kevin Newman.
He'll be called up the minute he can be called up.
All right, let's quickly move on then to.
Can I make a very bold prediction?
Where at?
Right now, just.
Okay, go ahead.
O'Neal Cruz wins the home run derby.
I can see it. I don't have a problem with that. It's pretty bold.
I love that kid, by the way.
Well, let's talk about more people that we do love. We are now to the American League Awards. Tell us who you think is going to win the MVP, the Cy Young, the Rookie of the Year. I'll start with mine. I got Vladimir Guerrero. Austin has Mike Trout. Sean has Shohei Ohtani because he can't get enough of the guy. Vladimir Guerrero also going to Vince, and Henry going very bold with Wander Franco. Henry, why do you pick Wander Franco here?
I was going to make a change here, actually.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
I was going back and forth. You know, Aaron Judge is I want to go Aaron Judge, but there's just I absolutely love Wander Franco. I'm going to leave Wander Franco, but I wanted to go Aaron Judge really, really bad here.
That's right. You know what, Henry? Your first instinct is usually the correct one, so good for you.
Wander Franco is, by this time next season, we'll be calling him the best player in baseball.
Wow. That'd be cool. And
Wander Franco is that fucking guy.
Well, I still believe that Vladimir Guerrero got robbed last year, and he's on my fantasy team.
1,000%.
Yeah. And then Austin, it's pretty interesting that you went with Mike Trout and not Shohei Ohtani. You being the Angels fan, go ahead and explain why.
Here's why I think Mike Trout is going to be I think he's going to be the MVP because I think he stays on the field this year. He's got a little bit of a better offense this year in the Angels. They're proving it right. I mean, I know it's spring training, but in spring training, they've been hitting the cover off the baseball. They got Justin Upton out of the way for some of these younger guys in Brandon Marsh and Joe Adele to come and start getting regular playing time. Right. So I think it's going to come to a point now where they're not going to be relying on Mike Trout as much to do everything. So he's not going to get hurt. If he does get hurt, he's not going to miss a whole lot of time. Now, before he got hurt in 2021, he was having a really, really good season. The only thing that concerns me is his outside the strike zone swing percentage is up. His swing percentage all overall is up. His contact percentage is down. But by at the time he got hurt, he was having the best season in terms of weighted runs created plus in his career. He was at a 190 weighted runs created plus. He was having a season. Right. And I think he's Mike Trout. He's going to come back. He's going to be good again. And I think he has a great season. And because he's Mike Trout, the writers vote him in as the MVP.
People like a good comeback story. So I could definitely see that. Let's move over to Cy Young Awards. We all got Garrett Cole, except for Sean, who picked Dylan Cease, which I showed you my list. Dylan Cease is up there among all the AL pitchers. But I don't know, man. Let's start with you, Henry. What do you think about the Dylan Cease pick right there?
It's not happening. No, it's not happening.
Crazier things have happened.
Yeah, it has. Shane Bieber has won 2020.
But you're not concerned about Garrett Cole and the sticky stuff and some of the bad things that happened to him last year?
So, again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. You know how I said Bryce Harper suffers from he's not Mike Trout syndrome?
Uh-huh.
Garrett Cole suffers from he's not Jacob deGrom syndrome. So Garrett Cole is still the best pitcher in the AL. And it's not close, you know?
Yeah.
It really isn't close. I think he'll learn to do the things he was doing before without the spider tag. He was still a strikeout guy before that. You know, he settled into New York. He had little bumps when he had those blowouts, and Yankee fans let him know, you know, we're notorious for that shit. We boo everybody.
Right.
I think his second year is going to be, you know, an amazing one.
Let's move over to the Rookie of the Year candidates. Bobby Witt. Everybody has Bobby Witt except for Sean, who's a lone wolf on this one. Yes, Spencer Torkelson. And for those who don't know who Spencer Torkelson is, we just mentioned he's going to be taking over for Miguel Cabrera at first base. He is an exciting young player. How old is he? 22, going to be 23 soon enough. Right-handed power hitting first baseman, potentially speaking. there's a lot to like about this kid. And the Tigers are on the up and up just based on their youth movement alone. He has a 70 graded raw power, according to Fangraphs, 70 out of 80, guys. But he's still a work in progress in all other areas. He's not very fast, but I mean, they're talking about maybe potential 30 home run season right off the bat here. So that might be a little bit over the top in terms of prediction. But if it does happen, I could see why Sean would pick and Spencer Torkelson. But it seems like everybody went with the safe route with Bobby Witt Jr. He's been pretty much a lock for the opening day starting roster for the Royals, and might be the one bright spot for the Royals, like we mentioned before. So, all right, manager of the year. Again, Dong City has Scott Service. Round Trippers has Charlie Montoyo. And then Sean has AJ Hinch. So, Sean loving himself the Tigers, and Spencer Torkelson is going to make AJ Hinch great again. Vince and Henry, obviously, you guys like the Mariners, so that's why went with Scott Service.
I picked them to win the division. Remember?
That's right. So all the more reason. But the Austin, why do you like Charlie Montoyo so much?
Because the Blue Jays win the division. Because the Blue Jays win the AL East division, and they're a very, very exciting team.
They're number one seed. Okay.
They're the number one seed. They're going to be the best team in the AL. Excuse me. Because they're the best team in the AL and they win the tough AL East, Charlie Montoyo wins the manager of the year. Everybody's going to ride that wave of the Jays being the team of the AL.
All right. Let's move on to the National League Awards. Everybody has Juan Soto except for Vince, who has Mookie Betts. Henry, you talk to Vince a lot, and he's your podcast partner. Any reason why he goes Mookie Betts here?
He hates Latinos. I'm just kidding.
Even though he picked Vladimir Guerrero in the AL, I gotcha.
Vlad is Canadian, doesn't matter.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Always with the loopholes. Okay.
No, he's always loved Mookie Betts. I think he thought he would have a nice bounce back season. This is what do I always say about Mookie? He's the every other year guy, right? So using that theory, Mookie Betts is going to have a really good year. So
in the podcast league, Corey Decker picked up both Mike Trout and Mookie Betts for his outfielders in the first two rounds. Nice. So yeah, this could only be music to his ears.
That's almost like my infield in our league.
Oh, geez, don't get me started. Wait, do you have Vladimir Guerrero, Rafael Devers, and all those guys?
I have all the Puerto Ricans.
Oh, you have the Puerto Ricans. That's right. Make Henry's team the 2019 Puerto Rican WBC team. Yeah. I hope that comes back. Is it next year?
It's next year.
Oh, I can't wait.
God.
It's 23 right there.
Thank God. We're gonna be so lit. We should go to Miami.
I'm going to one of the games somewhere.
All right.
I'm putting that there now.
Keep me posted. Juan Soto. I like Juan Soto for obvious reasons. He's on the Baseball Life Fantasy League, my team, I should say. So that's why I went with Vlad and Juan Soto, because they're both on my fantasy league team over at the Baseball Life League. But Austin, why did you pick Juan Soto?
Juan Soto is the guy. He's got pop. He can hit for average. He can hit for power.
Question.
He's got patience like nobody's business. I have never seen a player as young as him have so much plate discipline. That guy is all around offense. Mm-hmm. He's electrifying. I mean, it would be.
Well, I gotta ask.
Not vote for him.
You're not concerned that him being on a very bad team is going to affect the voters and not want to vote for him for MVP?
No, because he's going to have that good of a season.
All right. I basically Vladimir Guerrero and Juan Soto, for me, they should have won it last year. So this is going to be the
Juan Soto could have. I was going to say Juan Soto could have won it last year on a bad Nationals team.
Yeah, but the Nationals got worse this year somehow.
Yeah, they're going to be bad. Yeah,
it's awful. All right, let's go. Cy Young, Walker Buehler. For me, Austin has Corbin Burns, Jacob deGrom with Sean, although. Well, Vince also with Jacob deGrom, and Henry with Max Scherzer. Henry, you're not concerned about Max Scherzer's age?
No, I'm not. Max Scherzer is fucking Max Scherzer.
Yeah, all right.
I actually almost went Walker Buehler here. What broke my tie is nothing non-baseball related and totally New York related. I think it would be really fucking cool to have two Cy Young winners in New York.
You don't think that I guess it doesn't matter now because deGrom's hurt, but let's say he's healthy enough. He pitches like 25 games, right? You don't think that the New York media is going to split the vote between Scherzer and deGrom for that Cy Young award?
No, because and if you listen to my podcast before, I keep saying you can't throw harder as you get older. And the Met fans love to tout that he's fucking throwing harder and harder and harder. It's not natural. And now you're starting to see the effects of it. So we kept, well, not we, but a lot of people kept saying, you know, Jacob deGrom and comparing him to Bob Gibson's season. And most other people were saying you have to finish the season. And that's exactly what did not happen.
Yeah.
You know, you start getting comps to Bob Gibson, you have to be real careful. Bob Gibson did it for what? So many fucking starts, and he was finishing so many complete games.
It was a different era, though. I mean, not to
totally
shortchange.
No, I'm not shortchanging Jacob deGrom. Jake deGrom was amazing, but you can't.
And I'm not shortchanging.
It's not natural for you to throw harder as you get older. It's just not.
And I'm not trying to shortchange Bob Gibson, but yeah, I mean, bigger ballparks, higher mounds. I mean,
ballparks didn't play a factor when he was striking everybody the fuck out.
No, that's true, but it also kept his arm preserved. Not like deGrom here, who's has to throw harder because stadiums are shorter. I mean, it's it's an era thing. It's an era thing.
Totally unrelated, but related.
Yeah.
If you go to the Roberto Clemente Museum in Pittsburgh, which you guys know I absolutely love, and I know the owner, there's Bob Gibson pitching rubber from one of the 68 games. Ooh. And there is a Bob Gibson jersey. There's a couple Bob Gibson items that are pretty cool.
All right. Now, that's definitely on my list of things to do among many things that I have to do before I die tomorrow. So Walker Buehler, I feel like it's Walker Buehler's time to kind of get his shine on here. It's his turn. He's I don't know. I just think he's not going to be taking a backseat to Clayton Kershaw with the Dodgers. And I mean, he showed me a lot last year because this whole time I've been criticizing him for being babied too much by the Dodgers. And last year he just blew my mind by showing that he could be durable. So if he do one more again like that, that award is his for the taking. Austin, you're not concerned that the voters don't like to go back to back with some of these awards with Corbin Burnes as your pick?
No, because I think Corbin Burnes is a better pitcher than Walker Buehler.
Interesting.
I think Walker Buehler, while he's a good pitcher, is getting helped by his defense behind him, whereas Corbin Burnes is striking everybody out. Their FIP is a 2-run difference.
Yeah.
Corbin Burnes is like 1.76 and for last year, and Walker Buehler last year was 3.14 FIP.
Well, you're assuming that's going to happen again for Corbin Burnes.
You know, I think that is very true. But I think Corbin Burnes is a better pitcher than Walker Buehler.
Okay.
The other thing is, I believe Corbin Burnes is a little bit more durable of a pitcher than Walker Buehler is.
Not last year. Not last year. No, 28 games started for Burnes, 33 for Buehler. One of the few pitchers who pitched over 200 innings. Walker Buehler at 207 innings. I mean,
there was only 5 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm at Fangraphs right now. 1, 2, 3, 4 starting pitchers who finished over 200 innings pitched last year, and Buehler is one of them. Again. Who, Buehler?
Yeah.
Hey man, the fact that he got to that level is more than I ever expected. I thought he was just going to be baby by the Dodgers this whole time.
I mean, we didn't expect Corbin Burnes to do that either.
Yeah, well, it's complicated with Burnes because his career started off in the bullpen, but there was always potential. But yeah, let's put it this way: Buehler was more polished than Burnes was ever.
Right. We never expected Burnes to take that leap that fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I thought Brandon Woodruff would be better in Milwaukee. So anyway, Rookie of the Year, Seiza Suzuki is for me. Austin gets O'Neal Cruz. Max Meyer going to Sean. Nice. So yeah, that's Sean bringing out the bold picks today. Vince also likes Suzuki, and of course Henry likes Joey Bart. Henry, he's not just because he plays for San Francisco doesn't mean he's going to be the next Buster Posey, right?
No, but I'm being totally selfish here. I wanted to go O'Neal Cruz, but I have him on my fantasy team. I've stashed him for 2 years. He's got to pan out for me already.
Damn right, Henry. I like the selfishness. God bless you. All right.
But I do want to put my affinity for O'Neal Cruz out there because that kid is a fucking. He's Aaron Judge.
Yeah, at shortstop.
It's just unheard of.
I really think that kid's going to mash. When he gets put up in the MLB, I could see 25, 30 home runs.
Yeah. There's highlights already of this kid. He kind of has this Vlad Guerrero Sr. swing where he swings for a lot of balls out of the zone and he makes contacts and they fucking go a mile long.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Raw power. Once he gets that situated and becomes, a little more selective, be careful, man. But this kid is going to win the home run derby.
Can't wait. Hope it comes true. I do like O'Neal Cruz. It's been a guy I've been keeping on my radar for a long time now. And for some reason, I just wasn't able to put him on any of my teams this year. Max Meyer, who for those who don't know, is a Marlins starting pitcher. We kind of alluded to him earlier in the podcast. Good fastball, very wicked slider, decent changeup. It's still a work in progress, and so is his command, but he is supposed to be pretty damn good. He throws right-handed, bats left-handed. Kind of small though, so maybe that's why Sean likes him so much. He's a little bit on the smaller side. All right. Seiya Suzuki, of course, we all know, Japanese import who plays for the Cubs, 27 years old, I believe. Might have some power speed combination, and let's face it, older seems to be a little bit better when you're comparing them to other rookies. So he already has a leg up that he has that kind of experience, and he'll be getting.
Unless you're a Japanese and you play for the Yankees, you're a Japanese player. They don't count those guys as rookies.
I see where you're going with this.
Well,
the one thing Suzuki does have advantage over some of these higher graded guys like O'Neal Cruz is that he'll be starting from day one. So, manager of the year. Everybody picked Buck Showalter because of New York bias. I went with Bob Melvin. As for the reasons we mentioned, if the Padres can turn things around and make the playoffs, in Henry's case, if they win the division, why not give Bob Melvin the award? But everybody going Buck Showalter.
Here's why I didn't go Bob Melvin. Mm-hmm. Teams with loaded talent seem to be penalized when it comes to awards. And the Padres are loaded, so I think if they do what they're supposed to do, it's kind of seen like, yeah, that's what you were supposed to do.
Well, so are the Mets, though. Mets are pretty loaded.
The Mets came in, right? They're the Mets. They're always the laughing stock. Showalter to them took fucking 3 months to get done, if not longer. I think Showalter is the right guy for them. I think Showalter is the manager of the year.
All right.
And he's Buck Showalter, right? Like
he don't give a buck.
There's that nostalgia when it comes to the writers, right? Buck Showalter's been in the league for a long time. Everybody loved Buck Showalter. Mm-hmm. It was why, Tony La Russa was in the running for manager of the year, because everybody is banking on the nostalgia of Tony La Russa. It's the same thing here with Buck Showalter. And the thing is with this, the reason why I think we're all going with Buck Showalter is the Mets have most of us anyway think that the Mets are going to have a better showing than let's
go back. So there you go.
Because I don't know why I was thinking Twins. I keep thinking Twins. That was my mistake. But it's the nostalgia of Buck Showalter.
Yeah.
I will say, and I've been saying this since they got Max Scherzer, the Mets need another pitcher. There's Jacob deGrom, there's Max Scherzer, and then that distance between Chris Bassett and everybody else, it's really steep. I think they need.
I don't think it's that steep.
There.
I think Bassett is a nice number 3 guy. You still got Carlos Carrasco.
Bassett is nice. Taijuan Walker is a huge question mark. Carlos Carrasco's coming back. He's a huge question mark. They need another pitcher.
I trust Carrasco more than I trust Walker. Can he get another lucky season?
I agree with that. I think Carrasco has better stuff than Walker, but they need another pitcher. They need one more pitcher.
Here. Everybody needs one more pitcher, but as far as a top 5 at all things considered,
the Angels don't need one more pitcher. They need 3.
They need 3, yeah, and then they'll go into a 9-man rotation, right? All right. So they're gonna go with Tyler McGill at one of their prospects. Well, not a prospect anymore. 26 years old. I stand corrected. So they're gonna go with him. He's okay as a number 5 guy, but Taijuan Walker for sure. From Chris Bassett to Taijuan Walker is not even for me. It's a deeper crevice.
You know what wouldn't surprise me? It wouldn't surprise me if they went out and they were the ones that got Frankie Montes.
Go ahead, man. Do it.
Now you put Frankie Montes on that team. Now you're talking.
No, not in the National League. There's just too many pitchers in the National League, especially on that team. But in the American League, he goes to another American League team.
But you put Montes on his team, and now you're talking about a much deeper rotation.
Another option that the Mets have, David Peterson. Are you a fan of David Peterson?
Stop. No.
I'm just telling you what they have, man.
Look, this shit was out of control last year here in New York. They started going crazy with his starts. It reminded me of fucking Matt Harvey Dark Knight bullshit. Like, stop.
All right. So that is the awards. And now we move on to the brackets. I got to fix this. That's really tiny. My bad. Yeah. And here we are, starting with the AL wildcard. Okay, first and foremost, I have no idea if you guys did this correctly or not. but I'm just gonna assume that it is done correctly. But I got the Rays.
I was thinking, listen to me, when I was filling this out based on the instructions you gave, I was like, wait, the 3 plays the 6, they get a bye.
I did the same thing.
Hey man, those are not my rules. Those are Major League Baseball rules.
Listen to me. It took me 3 times the amount of time to fill this bracket out than to fill out the predictions.
Yeah.
I'm like, carry the 1, then Common Core. Forget it.
Hey man, again, that's not me. That's your commissioner. Those are the rules that he put in. All right. If anybody would understand this, it would have been the guys from Dong City.
Not my president.
It would have been the guys from Dong City who would have explained that to me, not the other way around.
You know what's funny? We should put, you know how they have those stupid Joe Biden stickers? We should have like Rob Manfred stickers that said I did that, and just have like all the seeds fucked up.
Well, let's quickly move on here. I got the Rays and Mariners facing in that first wild card. So see, now I got to go back. So who do I have here? I forgot already. I got the Rays as my number 14. Okay, so that's the number 4 and 5 seed. Okay. So I got the 4-5 seed, the Rays and the Mariners. I see that the Mariners are going to upset the Rays. Austin has Astros and Mariners, and he's going with the Astros. Sean has Twins and Yankees. He's going with the Yankees. Astros and Red Sox. Vince is going with the Astros. And Henry has the Mariners and Rays, and he too is going with the Mariners. Let's go to the other wild card series. Sorry. I got Jays and Yankees. I got the Jays defeating the Yankees in that 3-6 seed. Rays and Yankees for Austin. He's going with the Rays. Rays and White Sox from Sean. He's picking the Rays. Vince, Yankees and Jays. He's going with the Jays. And then Henry has the Astros versus the Yankees. And where are they doing this? Let me just double check. So Yankees are the 4th seed, and then okay, so they're gonna do this at Yankee Stadium, just like your wet dreams have manifested. All right. Mm-hmm. So with all that being said,
with Chapman closing the door against Altuve.
This guy. All right. I love the imagination. Any surprises from this list? And let me make it a little bit smaller. That's what she said. Anything that sticks out, or any surprises? Anything that stands out for you guys on this bracket?
I can see all of that.
Felipe called me crazy with the Mariners, but he's right there with me.
Yeah. Wait, I didn't call you. I didn't say you were crazy.
Other than the Twins.
I had them winning the West, remember?
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Go ahead.
Other than the Twins being in there, I don't think the Twins will be in there. But other than that, I can see all the rest of this.
Okay. Yeah, that's Sean's pick. He did pick the Twins to win the division outright in the AL Central. All right, so we move on to the AL Division Series. Remember, the Mariners defeated the Rays, so now they get to face the White Sox, and there it is. The White Sox fans are gonna crucify me for this, but this is my upset special. And you know what? It's funny. I told Matt Bushnell, my buddy, I talked to him on the daily. I can see a scenario where the Mariners can go into face the White Sox and just shut them down, make Luis Robert look foolish. It's a very free swinging team, as you guys know. Very potent lineup the White Sox are, but I could definitely see the Mariners just giving them fits and pulling off the upset of the year here. Mariners advancing to the ALCS over the White Sox. Austin has Astros versus White Sox. He picks the White Sox. Sean has the Jays versus Yankees. He picked the Yankees to win. Vince also has the White Sox, but against the Jays, he picked the Jays. And Henry, Mariners and Jays. He picked the Jays. The other division series, Felipe has Astros versus Jays. I got the Jays. Austin has Jays and Rays. He could pick the Jays. Sean has Astros and Rays. He picked the Rays. Vince has Rays versus Astros. He picked the Rays. And Henry picked Yankees versus Chi Sox in a rematch of the Iowa game from last year. He picked the Yankees again. All right. Yeah, they pretty much, right? All right. Well, aside from my upset special, what other things stick out in the AL Division Series as opposed to when it comes to these predictions? Henry, let's start with you.
Nothing. I think everything outside of your prediction. But like I said I can see the White Sox getting upended in the playoffs early.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Yeah, I can see all of these things happening.
Yeah.
I think I don't think the Astros are going to be as good, and that's what everybody else is saying. I don't think they get past the division series. Nobody has the Astros going into the championship series. So does anybody
have them? Yeah, you guys have them winning the wild card round.
Yeah. I was kind of waiting to see. I thought people were going to put them in the championship series, and I don't think they're good enough to get to the championship series anymore.
Well, if Henry, where do you have the White Sox? I can't find your White Sox. Oh, there they are. My bad. It's right in
Yeah.
front of me. I see it. Yankees defeating the White Sox in the ALDS. So, well, that's a shame because if there was going to be a year where Dusty Baker was going to win a World Series, it would have been this year. But alas, I just think that there's other teams that are a little bit better. And then for the ALCS, Felipe has Mariners versus Jays. Naturally, I went with the Jays because why not? White Sox and Jays for Austin. He picked the Jays. Sean, Yankees and Rays. He picked the Yankees. Jays and Rays for Vince. He picked the Jays. Henry, Yankees and Rays. Henry, Yankees and Jays. He picked the Jays. Obviously, the big surprise, Sean putting the Yankees in the World Series, right?
The one guy who hates the Yankees is the guy that picks them.
Maybe he's doing what I do and just pick the Yankees so they can purposely lose, right? Over to the National League's wild card. I got the Mets and Padres. I went with the Mets for the upset. I'm assuming that DeGrom's healthy by then. So Austin has Cards and Padres, and he too picks the Padres to lose. Everybody picking the Padres to lose. Sean, Brewers and Padres. He picks the Brewers. Vince goes with Braves and Cardinals. He picks the Cardinals. Henry, Braves and Phillies. He goes with the Phillies. Anything stick out for you guys there?
No, I don't think so.
I figured my Phillies pick would draw some ire.
No, I like the Phillies pick there against the Braves. Their offense is going to be better.
It's not going to happen because once the playoffs start, Max Fried and Ian Anderson become Bob Gibson and Warren Spahn all of a sudden. So, and then Charlie Morton too, who also played with Warren Spahn and Bob. No, I'm joking. All right, let's go into the other wild card game. I got the Brewers and Cardinals in an NL Central Division series. I got the Brewers, Mets and Braves for Austin. He picked the Mets. Sean goes with the Braves and Cardinals. He picked the Braves. Vince, Mets and Giants. He picked the Mets. Henry, Mets and Dodgers. He picked the Dodgers. So, I'm sorry, I forgot. Anything stick out? Anything peculiar? Anything weird happening in the second wild card series?
I just got the Mets getting a really bad draw with the Dodgers here.
That's exactly what it looks like, and yeah, let's see if their pitching staff can save them then, right?
I don't like the Braves pick.
Believe it. What, Sean?
I mean, yeah, from Sean. Yeah. I think Cardinals have a great defense and pitching win championships. And I mean, I know a lot of people in our group don't particularly care for Yadier Molina, but when you have somebody like Yadier Molina who can handle a pitching, I love Yadier Molina. When you have Yadier Molina who can handle a pitching staff the way he does, and you have a defense behind them like that, when you get into playoffs, they're tough to beat. I don't think the Braves beat the Cardinals.
Listen, man, it's Warren Spahn versus Adam Wainwright. You tell me who's going to come out on top. All right, then. National League Division Series. Well, as you can see, it's either Dodgers or Brewers who are going to advance. So I got Dodgers and Mets going with the Dodgers here. Austin has Dodgers and Cardinals. He too is going with the Dodgers. Sean has Dodgers and Brewers. He's going with the Brew Crew. Vince has Dodgers and Cardinals. He's going with the Dodgers. Henry, Brewers and Phillies. And the Phillies Cinderella run ends there as the Brewers will advance, according to Henry. And the other bracket, I got the Braves and Brewers, with the Braves beating the Brewers in this one. Austin, Brewers and Mets. Why does it say Braves here? Is that a typo? I think that's a typo. Who did you have here, Austin?
I had the Brewers.
Gotcha. So I'll just do one of these and
mine is also a typo.
We're at Padres and Dodgers.
Yeah, I have Dodgers.
Yeah, who's fact checking this? Oh, me, I guess.
So so that goes back to, even though I have the Padres winning the division, I think the Dodgers experience, carries over better in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see that. And then Walker Buehler, Cy Young Award winner, steps up and shuts the door down.
Yeah, that's why I said I think the Padres will win the season marathon, but the championship won't go through San Diego.
Yeah, the 5-game series, anything can happen. And hey, you know what? Vince is right. Maybe the Padres do have a bunch of 3 and 4 starters. So take that, Henry.
We'll
Proves you wrong. Vince goes Brewers and Mets. He's going to go with the Brewers on this one. And then over the NLCS, Dodgers and Braves, I have with the and the rematch, right? That was a rematch from last year. Well, I got the Dodgers getting the revenge. Austin has Dodgers and Brewers. He's going with the Dodgers. Sean, Mets and Brewers. He's going to go with the Brewers there. And Vince and Henry also have Dodgers and Brewers, with the Dodgers coming on top, which means now we get to figure out who the World Series is. Everybody has the Blue Jays and Dodgers. Guys, I swear to God, we did not talk about this beforehand.
Nope.
I told these guys, put your predictions in and let's see what you guys have. And everybody picked the Dodgers and the Blue Jays, except for Sean, he has the Yankees losing to the Brewers, and your Brewers are going to be your World Series champion. That could only make our buddy Jet up in Wisconsin, super happy this year.
And that would draw the lowest ratings in World Series history.
No, not when the Yankees are involved. Get out of here. No, man, Yankees draw. Yankees always draw.
Brewers don't draw.
No, I mean, Milwaukee's
well, I guess in his matchup, you have the Yankees Brewers. So, yeah.
Yeah. So the Yankees are going to take care of the TV markets, and the Brewers are going to carry that championship with them under the tutelage of Brendan Woodruff and Corbin Burns and Josh Hader, Devin Williams, and all those guys. And
I will say the Jays will give the Dodgers a run for their money.
Yeah. How many games?
But the Dodgers playoff experience will trump the Jays.
How many games? 7, 6, 5?
6.
6. Henry, you got a prediction like that too? How many games did the Dodgers win this one?
I have the Dodgers going up against
the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays. It's got to be entertaining. Give me 7.
Yes.
That's a shitload of offense, man. Give me what we want.
I'll go with 6 with Austin there, just because I think it was a nice run by the Blue Jays, but ultimately the better team should. I mean, the Dodgers are just loaded. The best team in all of baseball.
Have a team not play in America win America's pastime, can we?
Well, the Blue Jays have done it before, back in the 90s, a long, long time ago. I think Aaron, our friend Aaron, was in diapers at that time, so that's how long ago it was.
We need to build a wall in Canada.
Build a border wall up in Canada. Stop the smuggling of prescription drugs to carry over. Hey, listen, guys, this went a lot faster than I anticipated. So I do thank you guys for hanging in there with me and moving things along. We covered a lot tonight. Henry, any last words from you?
Go Yankees. I'm excited for opening day. I'm supposed to be at opening day again, but there is a 90% chance of rain. So I don't know what's going to happen. With my luck, the game gets canceled, gets pushed to Friday, which I can't go to that game, and I'm asked out. But let's see.
All right. Well, hopefully, no, it's going to be bad. It's April. It's the North. And that's
90% chance.
This is where Vince comes in and says, see, this is why everybody has to move to Florida. We don't have those problems in Florida. So, Austin, you live in a warm weather city. Well, relatively speaking, what's your final words for tonight?
Not go Yankees. No, I'm excited for this season. I'm glad we're getting baseball.
Yes.
I'll be going to at least 4 parks this year, hopefully 5.
Okay.
Nice.
So hopefully we get some good baseball. I'll be traveling all over the West Coast there. I'll be going to, of course, Angel Stadium. I'm looking at going to Angels versus Mets with Angel Morales.
Nice.
And then I'm going to go to Denver and watch them play the Guardians. And then I'm going to go to Seattle. No, I'm going to Seattle. Yeah, I'm going to Seattle, and I don't remember who they're playing then, but I'm going to go watch them play. And then I'm going to take a trip with my dad to Arizona and watch the D-backs play the Rockies and the Giants.
Nice.
So you're basically staying out west.
Yeah, I'll be staying out west. I'll get out
on the East Coast for some games, man.
Yeah, I'll get out on the East Coast here in the next year or two.
Holy shit! I just realized my daughter has my eyebrows. Looking myself in the camera here. That's where she gets it from. Okay. Hey man, you guys said it, man. I can't wait. I'm glad that baseball's back because the alternative is that they could still be negotiating and fighting and ruining baseball for everybody.
Yes.
So this time you can't even blame the Yankees for that, like we always want to do. But no, it's
and we get 162.
And we get 162 games. Everybody's happy. I'm excited. I can't wait. I got all my fantasy teams ready to go. And I'm just excited. I can't wait. I don't know if I'm going to go to any games this year. I was looking to check out some minor league games, get those games going. I've never been to a minor league game. I hear they're a lot of fun. And the best part
games are a lot of fun. I've been to more minor league games than major league games.
And the best part, they're so cheap.
Yes.
So cheap.
Take Penny to a minor league game.
Take Penny out to Penny night for sure.
I'll actually be at opening day, April 8th of Inland Empire 66ers.
The 66ers. All right.
That sounds like a rock band.
Before I forget, Henry, what's going on with Dong City? Are you guys going on this Wednesday or not going on this Wednesday?
I'm not sure if we're going on this Wednesday. Still working on that behind the scenes. Tax season, baby season. So
yeah, I hear you. And then me, that's it for me. I am taking some much needed time. Austin and young Sean, the young bucks here, are gonna carry that torch, brother. Because Felipe needs a break. Felipe has been working really hard on this podcast, and Austin, I gotta say it, man. Thank you so much for helping me out this year. There's no way in hell I would have finished those spreadsheets without you. So I really do thank you for stepping up, and hopefully you learned something. I mean, this is what I do every freaking winter. And
Austin has blossomed, man. I loved it. I love it.
Yeah, dude, you have no idea how helpful he's been, and there's no way I could have done these without him. And even this spreadsheet, he did this. He did it because, like, Austin, I'm swamped at work, and
I can tell there's not as many colors as they usually are.
Yeah, those colors that you see there, that's all me. That's the editing. That's the post-production, right?
The real Felipe spreadsheets has a lot more,
Yeah.
A lot more pizzazz to it.
You're welcome, Henry. No epileptic seizures this time.
You know what it is, and if you have I told you guys? I mean, these walls are orange, but the rest of my house has different colors to their walls. That was all me. I pushed for that. I pushed for different colors.
Of course you did.
Let's go, Roz.
And I have a special guest with me. It's my little baby. Say hi.
Hi, Penny.
Say hi.
Hi, baby.
Hola, ¿cómo están? I gotta turn this on. Ah, crap. I gotta turn this on. Ah, crap. Yeah, I turned off my speakers. There it is. Say something.
Hey, Penny.
Nope, still can't hear you. Anyway, let's turn this off. I am Felipe. That's Austin. That's Henry. We will talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Deuces. See you later.
Later.